Hello and welcome to Times of Biotech. We are going to discuss one of the important topic which is nanotechnology in the agriculture. So before we find out how nanotechnology is transforming agriculture, let's put some light on what is nanotechnology. Nanotechnology is the science or the technology used to produce or synthesize nanoscale materials. Nanoscale meaning a material as small as 10 raised to minus 9 meters. These nanoscale materials are also called as nanoparticles or nanomaterials. This do specifically these materials are quantified as a nanomaterial if and only if at least one dimension, that could be height, length or width, should range between 1 to 100 nm. It was in 1974 the scientist Norio coined this term of nanotechnology. Nanomaterials are classified based on the origin, meaning they can come from a natural source or they can be made by man, which is also known as man made nanoparticles. The natural nanoparticles are fog, volcanic eruptions, etc. This can also be classified based on dimension and chemical nature. Dimensions meaning how many sides does it have, whether it has a length, breadth, height, which dimensions do they have or they don't have. For example, 0D or 0 dimension nanoscale dimension is with has no sides, and the example of it is the quantum dots. One dimension nanoparticles are nanofibers and nanowires, whereas two dimensions are nanosheets and thin film, whereas bulk materials are classified into three dimension nanoparticles. The chemical nature, basically which particular material is used to synthesize this nanoparticle, based on that they can also be classified. The first one could be the carbon. The materials such as graphene are under classified under carbon because they have carbon, they are carbonaceous in nature. Whereas the ceramic materials or a metal oxide can also be used to synthesize the nanoparticles. One of the highly used nanoparticles are the metal nanoparticles, and out of that gold is widely used, and apart from gold, silver, copper and nickel can also be used. Polymeric compounds such as cellulose, gelatin can also be used for synthesizing the nanoparticles, and they do also have a various applications. To talk about applications, as more and more research are happening around the world, various applications in different sectors such as healthcare, pharmaceutical, cosmetic industries, etc. are being discovered. But here we are going to cover and focus on the applications in agriculture sector. Well, to talk about the application in agriculture sector, let's talk about the nano fertilizers. We have to search for the alternative for conventional chemical fertilizers because we have to spray these chemical fertilizers for multiple times. With one application, it does not really fulfill the nutrient requirement of the plant. And the situation arises where the total amount of fertilizer applied or sprayed onto the crop does not really go and get absorbed by the plants. Only minimum amount of nutrients reaches to the target site of the plant, and rest get washed off. Because of the precipitation loss due to the leaching, and they are also sensitive to the photolytic hydrolysis, and due to microbial degradation we have to repeatedly spray these fertilizers, and this repeated spraying of the fertilizer leads to the degradation of soil fertility, thereby decreasing the productivity of the field. Can you imagine something which is being used to increase the fertility and increase the productivity of the crop is actually degrading the productivity on long run, which is not at all good. But this is not true when a farmer switch to a nano fertilizer, because they can have a regulated or release of nutrients with the uptake demand of plant. They are also directly internalized, and it also escapes the interaction with soil, water, air, and microbes, consequently preventing the undesirable loss of nutrients. And it also improves the water holding capacity, improve the nutrient uptakes, and thus overall increasing the plant productivity and health. It also protects the environment, since they do not get released into and they do not interact with water, air, and microbes. They also protect the environment. One of the example of this nano fertilizer is the use of porous nanomaterial such as zeolites or clay. These nanomaterials enhance the demand base uptake, whereas if they are charged with ammonium, the zeolites charged with ammonium improve the phosphorus availability for the plant uptake. So they are really highly recommended that farmers should use a nano fertilizer for the exact amount of nutrient requirement and supplement to the plant. Another application is the nanopesticides. Let me tell you the fact that according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, the average food loss pre and post harvest is 20 to 40%. And what we do to protect our crops, we tend to extensively use this chemical pesticide, which leads to the resistance in pathogen and insects. It also leads to the bioaccumulation in agriculture, livestock, and in organism of water environment. Nevertheless, nanopesticide formulation can control the delivery. By controlling this delivery is not only controlled into the root zone, but it also controlled inside the plants. And by controlled delivery, it can lead to the lower, even in the lower dose of these chemicals, it can have a higher effect. Thus the problem is solved. We don't want to extensively spray the lot of pesticides and degrade our environment. Instead, we want something which will give a higher effect in with the lower chemical dose, and which will not degrade our environment. Well, this approach is revolutionizing the control of pests and insects. One of the example of this revolution is the use of silica nanosphere that increase the capability of pesticide to penetrate and reach the plant cell cells. Consequently, this control the chewing or sucking insects like aphids. Another example is the biocontrolling of destructive insects. This is achieved by the latex fabricated bioactive gold nanoparticles. This gold nanoparticles reduces the catalytic action of trypsin. Well, apart from these things, we can also use this technology into the sensors. Well, the basic function of sensor is to monitor. And here, in case of agriculture, the sensors are used to monitor the nutrient requirement of soil, crop growth, specific plant affected by the disease, to know which a plant or in which part of the field is exactly affected by the disease. In fact, it ensures the overall soil and plant health. So it's not a surprise that even in this area nanotechnology emerged with the flying colors, because the nanosensors hold numerous advantages. The advantages like high surface to volume ratio, instant response within seconds, nanogram or lesser amount of detection with reliable results, and support fast electron transfer kinetics. Well, to discuss about the example, the detection of pests such as Polymyxa species, which is responsible for the rhizomania disease in sugar beet, is much more efficient and rapid with a quantum dot rate based nanobiosensors. Well, these are the amazing examples of nanotechnology in agriculture, and I must say these technologies which is being actually used by farmers or they will be available for farmers in future are going to change the definition of agriculture, because we are always stressed that, oh my god, these pesticides fertilizers are coming into our water bodies and they are getting bioaccumulated in our cells and in other um, organisms for that matter, for the for example fishes. But by using this nanotechnology we can avoid all these things, and it can lead to the higher productivity, and obviously the farmers will be happy to have this kind of technology. So that's it